Welcome to the live stream. I am going to be diving into a topic you're going to love tonight because it is all about email productivity. Let me just ask you, do you spend a lot of hours composing the perfect email or answering the same question over and over and over again in email or having to send the same information out in an email? Typing that same information, or even better, copying and pasting it from a Google Doc or a Word doc. Well, if you are in that situation, tonight is for you because I am going to get you beyond that friction and give you information to help you streamline your email writing, create your own templates, get consistent results, save you time and frustration using text expansion. Welcome to the Purposeful Productivity Show. My name is Florence Donald. I'm your host. So glad you're here with us this evening. I coach businesses, professionals, nonprofit organizations on how to remove friction in their productivity systems. And so I'm here because this is something I do every day. I look for where my stumbling blocks are, and then I look for ways to get those stumbling blocks out of my life. So it's a journey and it never stops, but we get better. I'm glad that you're here with us this evening. Welcome to the Live Tribe. Always glad to have the community in the building with us, and we're going to introduce some of you a little bit later. But let me get right into the topic tonight, and that is how to write effective emails using text expansion. As you remember, last week I introduced this thing called text expansion and the software that you can use on just about any device you have to reduce the amount of typing that you have to do and get consistent results. So that's what we're going to dive into tonight. But while you're listening and while I'm talking, if you have a question, I love getting your questions and answering them. So any question you have, go ahead and put a Q colon in front of it. Put your questions in. I'll be in the building with us tonight. So I want to welcome you all. And I want to start with someone who's brand new to the show, I believe. Dagan, so glad to see you. I am so excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course, I have the one who always reminds me, happy Friday, Live Tribe. Yes, Joshua Uel is in the building with us tonight. And my best friend in the whole wide world, Frank Jackson, is here with us. So excited to have you here. And I want to just get you into the information. So I talked about using text expansion. I'm going to give you the first example right now, if I can get this off the screen. And that is doing product introductions. If you're a content creator, you're a nonprofit executive, you're a professional of any sort, you have a business, you do any kind of volunteer work, you're introducing products and services to constituents regularly. So that's the type of communication and the type of email that you have an opportunity to get out over and over again. So I've got a sample on the screen. If you can't read it, I'll make sure you can get it if you reach out to me. But I just drafted something that just says, hi, client name, and the information that I want to share. This is a short one, but it could be 2 or 3 paragraphs long. And who wants to retype that all the time? I don't. And then if you have it in a document that you're copying and pasting, you're doing 2 or 3 steps when literally you can type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters and get the exact information you need each and every time. So where you see I have the brackets and some text and then it closed in the square brackets, that's variable information that you would fill in or you could call from someplace else. So in this case, the person's name that you're sending it to and whatever the name of the product or service is that you're launching or introducing the person to. So you could put this in a snippet, and the snippet I'm using is X new prod. I use X because I'm not going to start a sentence or a word with the letter X generally. And new prod mean it's going to remind me this is about a new product. So I want to make sure you all are seeing this because I'm seeing something on the screen that, okay, there, X new prod, and you can just type those letters and it'll come up on the screen. So what I want to try to do, this is my first time, y'all. I'm going to try to do a live demo. So you're going to get a good laugh. I'll get a good laugh at myself if it doesn't go well. So I'm going to switch here, and I use a product called Text Expander. I mentioned it last week, and if you don't have to use this one, it just happens to be the one that I use. So right below my picture is a screenshot of the Text Expander software, and then to the right is an email, a blank email that I've got up in Google Docs. So if I'm composing this product launch, I'm going to go over here, click on the subject line, and I'm typing X, and I'm looking down at the keyboard, new prod. And if you can see it, and if you want more, I can do this in person with you, a little window popped up. So there's 3 gray boxes. The 3 gray boxes represent the two pieces of information that I said I wanted to put in. The product name, so I'm going to say I'm doing an online video coaching product launch. And I'm going to send this to my friend Walter. I'm typing, that's all I'm typing. I'm not typing anything else. I'm hitting the enter key, and I want you to see what happens in the email. I'm going to try to make this big. I'm going to hit the enter key. See? Hit the enter key, and it filled in the subject, introducing online video coaching. Now I got to make it small so you can see. Hi, Walter. And I did something weird because I didn't have my cursor in the right place. So let me do that over again. X new prod and online video coaching, and I'm sending it to my friend Walter because he's fabulous and I know he'll like this service. And I'm hitting the enter key, and it put the subject in the email, and it said, hi Walter, and it typed the rest of it. It put the product name in the middle of the sentence, and it closed it out. Now all I got to do is type Walter's email address or his name, if I've got it in there, and hit send, and off it goes. You can do more, but this is the very, very basics. If I have to send this email to 3 people a day, 10 people a day, 30 people a week, whatever, it's faster for me to type those few letters, get a consistent message out, and if I have a new product, I don't have to rewrite the service name or the email. I'm just changing the name of the product or the service in the little box and who I'm sending it to. So that's an example of what I mean by reduce the amount of time that you're investing in sending out something as straightforward that we do on a regular basis, introducing a new product or a new service to your constituents, people who want to know what you're doing, and then you want to make sure you're giving them the information. Another example that you may use a lot is requesting testimonials. Again, if you are a nonprofit executive here, if you're a content creator, if you're a business owner, if you have a website, or you have a book, you have a product that you're selling, you want to ask friends, people who've read it, people who've purchased from you for testimonials. Well, why not write that email one time, and then have it available by typing something like TESTIX for testimonial. I put X in there just because it's an unusual letter and you're not usually going to have a word like that. And then it will expand the rest of the information out ask for the testimonial, and away you go. This is another example where you could have 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs that you want to include, but you're literally only typing a few letters, and the rest of it expands out for you and just goes on out. So example number 2, we've got some new folks in the building. I'm going to take a quick break here and welcome it in. And I, of course, want to recognize this gentleman, my online video mentor, coaching mentor, Mr. Walter Strong. Thank you, sir, for joining us in the building tonight. You know, I always get excited when I see you, and then I call you and ask you, how did I do, or what do I need to do differently? And of course, we have the man himself. I cannot do it like Walter, but Tech Troublemaker is in the building with us. Welcome to the stream tonight. So excited to have you guys here with me as we talk about this topic, and I share some real examples, because one of the things that I realized early on for me was I could get stuck trying to figure out, how do I make these? What do I make them of? What do I write and put in these snippets that everybody's talking about, that I'm hearing about? And so I wanted to figure out some real world use cases to give you some ideas and get you started thinking about how you could use it. One thing I do want to share with you is, don't try to think of 1,000 different snippets. Think of a few that you use regularly in this sending out emails and writing all the time, and start with those to get yourself accustomed to using them and thinking in snippets instead of thinking in long sentences and paragraphs. The next one I want to talk about is networking follow-up. We network and network and network and network all the time. We network in person, in events, conferences, meetings, social events, family events, business. We network especially in the content creation space. We network all the time. So what about having something you can send out to that person that you just met to make sure that you connect? So that's an easy one. Just have a quick email, have it already ready, and you can get it out. You can have, I've got down here, I'm available on in 3 dates. You could have, if you're using an automated scheduling tool, you could just put a link to your automated scheduling tool in there and just send it out, and you don't have to remember what that long thing is, the URL. You don't have to remember any of that. It can already be done for you. And I use new net, meaning this is a new person that I met in networking, and I want to just follow up with them and get something out to them. So that's another example of a short, again, it doesn't have to be this language. It can be whatever you want it to be, but it's short, it's quick, it's consistent, and it gets your information out, and you don't have to spend as much time typing all those words out yourself. The computer will do it for you. The next one is, well, I typed the wrong thing, but at the top, but it's supposed to be confirming a meeting. So if you're scheduling meetings and meetups and tech checks and testing system times and coaching times and all kinds of things with people, sending a quick note, and this is one that I use a lot, sending a quick note to confirm a meeting is something we often have to do. How many times have you shown up for a meeting and someone said, "Oh, I forgot"? Well, my habit is every day that I work, the day before, I send a confirming email out to those I'm meeting with the next day. Well, if I was retyping that and I've got 6 meetings the next day, I would retype 6 meeting messages. Instead, I type net FUP for net, and this is wrong, but what's the snippet I use for confirm? I use confirm. I just use confirm X as my snippet. CONFIRM FIRM and the letter X just to make it different. And I don't mix it up with a real word in a sentence. So confirm X, so forget what's on the screen, and then I send those out. So I type confirm X 6 times and the messages are gone, the confirmations are sent out, the reminders are sent out to the people, and I don't have to write out a long message. I do have kind of a standing agenda, especially those meetings that I have all the time. They're regularly scheduled. I have a standing agenda, so I just have that stuck in the snippet and I don't even have to type the agenda in. So if you have a question about what I'm talking about, making your own templates for text expansion, creating snippets or words that you're going to use to make them come in, go ahead and drop those questions in chat and I will be glad to answer them and get you some more information. Everybody's talking about AI, but this is more fundamental than AI. It is really, truly a productivity boost because it reduces the amount of time you're spending with your hands on the keyboard or your thumbs on your phone typing out text, but you're getting the same text out that you need to get out and it's consistent. And then the last one I'm going to share is you want to invite someone to be a member of your board, whether it's an advisory board for your business, board of directors for your nonprofit, any kind of board. It can be a committee that you're forming, and you want to invite a group of people or an individual to come and be a part of that with you. So you write this message that you're going to send out, and then all you've got to do is fill in the person's name, and the rest of it is done for you. So if you're inviting 10 different people, because you don't know who's going to be available, but you've got a list of 10 people that you want to try to get them to participate with you, write it one time, make yourself a template, I use new BD for new board because I sit on committees and boards, and so this is something I have to do. And it is gone away. And I've gotten the people. I'm actually going through that now for a board that has to form in June. And so we're going through inviting people to come and be a part of the board. Literally right now, this is something I'm going through. So those are 5 examples. If you have a question, go ahead and put the question in chat. And I'm going to say hello to some more of our wonderful friends who have shown up here in the building with us. Robert, so glad to have you in the building. Sha La 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 Productions. You always have a great question, so ask me a question. And I'm asking if I'm rehydrating. Thank you for watching out for me. I appreciate it. And Roy says, this reminds you of Mailmerge and MS Word. It does in some ways remind you of Mailmerge. The difference is you're not having to pre-create like a spreadsheet and then a Word document and merge them together. You're literally just putting the text into one place and having it go in. You can get a lot more sophisticated than what I've shown you. You can have a text expand, a snippet call another snippet to fill in information. As I said, we'll dive deeper into some of those more complex use cases as we go along. But tonight was really, because email is something we use all the time, pretty much every day. The majority of us are in email, and we have things that we send out regularly and questions that we answer regularly. And so I thought it would be a great time for us to talk about just some use cases, some scenarios where using text expansion would make sense and be valuable and save you time. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to get your last minute questions in if you have any. And I want you all to, of course, give me your win of the week, because we all have them. And of course, now here it is. So What is your productivity win this week? What friction did you remove? What new skill did you try? What conversation did you have? What did you do this week, in the last week since last Friday, to elevate your productivity? Big, small, everything counts. We're good at beating ourselves up. We need to get really great at celebrating what we do well. So, we do have a question here, and so I'm going to go back to it. And that is a slightly different question. And that is how to write an effective email newsletter. Has it? No, it hasn't come up, but that would be a great topic. And there is some, I know there's at least one person, two people in the chat who has email newsletters that they're pushing out. And so maybe I'll have them come on and do a show, do some conversation about how they formed it, what they do each week to put their newsletter together, and make sure that the newsletter is valuable in giving their audience, their participants, information that they need. I am actually building my email newsletter system, my email list system, and want to start getting a newsletter out, but I haven't done it yet. So I would invite some others who are already on that path and have succeeded in putting together an email newsletter. So when that show is coming up, I'll be sure to make sure you know about it. So we do have a win of the week here. And Walter says, spending time learning how to use the Canva app. Great. That's an awesome one. Walter, I just have to share with you, I've been tipping my little toe, not even the big toe, the little toe, into using some graphics software because, as y'all know, I'm not the graphics person in this here team. We have Joshua Uel, who does all the wonderful design that you see. He does them because that is his wheelhouse and he's excellent at it. But I'm trying just a little bit to learn a little bit of skills in that area. So awesome, awesome, awesome win of the week. And thank you, Robert, for saying groovy to hear. I think that's about having the couple of people come in and talk about writing an effective newsletter. And then another win of the week is, and this is, yes, it was, Tuesday night, Tech Troublemakers live stream with Steve Worthy was fire. It was. I've actually listened. I went back after Tuesday. I went back on Wednesday and listened to it again. So for those who don't know, I will often do that because I'm excited in the moment. And then I'm like, oh, I need to go back and listen and really get the lessons out of it because I got so excited about what I was hearing. So, Roy, I went back and listened to that show again. And Robert also had a really interesting show last week with a voiceover coach. So if you haven't had a chance to check that one out, I would encourage you to go check out Robert's show with the voiceover coach talking about AI. That was, or actually a voiceover talent talking about AI. That was really a good show too. So those are the chords this week. I want to just summarize for you. Start today. Start this journey today. If you need some examples of tools to use, let me know. There are a number, whether you're on a Windows computer, a Mac computer, an Android phone or tablet, or an iOS phone or tablet. There's software that works on your platform. So I would say start with just 4 or 5 regular emails. I gave you some examples today that you could use, and write a snippet for each of those emails. Write out what you wanted to say, put it in the software, and that each time you need to send that email out, use your snippet. Just as a quick reminder, some of the snippets I use is X new product if I'm introducing a new product, TESTIX for asking for a testimonial, New Net for following up from a networking event and meeting someone new. This one is wrong, but it's Confirm X for confirming meetings. And New BD to solicit or invite potential board members to join a board or a committee that I'm sitting on. So those are some examples. It is the best way to learn to use this is really to just take something very simple and start using it. So I've given you some tips to use. Now, how do you connect with me? You first of all, if you have not and you're new and I didn't acknowledge you, but if you're not in the chat but you're part of the live tribe tonight, welcome, glad you're here. Want this information to be useful to you. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, share the content with someone, and hit the like button so that we can be discovered, that more people get the information that's being shared. If you want to connect with me outside of the live stream and leaving a comment, you're always welcome to leave a comment in the comment box, but you can go to florencedonald.live and there you can connect with me a number of different ways. And I will be glad to have a quick 15-minute conversation with you to see how we can walk this journey out together. So, yes, the voiceover artist did a great job talking about Chat GPT, and it was fun. Actually, Robert, that was one I went back and listened to it again as well, because again, I'll just say Swiss cheese brain. So that's all good. I'm just going to do another quick check and make sure we don't have any other questions. I'm just double checking, y'all. Make sure. Nope, don't see any others. So we're going to continue this journey on using text expansion because it is a very deep topic and there's a lot to it. But I wanted to be practical for you, and I hope that you're finding value here. And if you are, you will let me know by commenting below, by asking a question, by letting me know what you're using it for. You know, you can always leave me a comment or send me an email or reach out to me on social and let me know how you're using this fabulous tool to save you time in emails so that you can get some time to do something else other than write email messages all day long. So it's been great being with you all tonight. It has been wonderful. Happy Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. And with that, I'm going to say good night. And let's see if I can do this right. See, I'm still doing it wrong. I'm going to link to last week's show because that's where I introduced text expansion and the benefits. So it'll be linked right over here at the end of